fucking bullshit.
Oh, come on, man. That's ridiculous. Oh, come on, man. That's ridiculous. What the shit? That's ridiculous.
Oh, come on, that's ridiculous, man. Oh, it's fucking bullshit.
Has dual shotties. Yeah, dual shotty that, cocksucker. Every fucking person on these maps has dual shotties. Oh, here we go, dual shotties. I can't do shit. Come here, motherfucker, huh? You fucking want some, bitch? Fucking want some, bitch? Huh? Come here, motherfucker, huh? You fucking want some, bitch? Fucking want some, bitch? Huh? Come here.
Oh my god!
Windows 8.1, Jasper Kitty, he's my son. Worried that my mobile's fried, computers lagging, slowing down. RTU PC is free, that's not good enough for me. Windows 8.1, when will support laughing at these deadheads who said let's shitting on Phil and then threats. Play some Stevie of the Dead. Oh Lord, now it's time for bed. Shit, I'm ripping on this locale. Red vest dripping, so chill right now. Watch them as they graduate.
Gravitate, not
no,
graduate.
DoorDash, his car crash. Hit so fast, Steve fucked his back. Don't crush the gem, can't fuck with them. I'm so class, Phil's tracks are whack. Don't stop, get it, until your Hogan's dead. It cameras on, he masturbates.
Hello? For now? That is a business related, and I do still have it.
WWE champion time.
Go. It's the money, stupid fuck.
I love it.
Go. By eBay.
Hell! It's been tough. I always think that it's my fault.
Drinking gin. Yep, I'm toxic.
I love Hulk Hogan's dick. My ass is so fucking stretched.
Oh, no you didn't, you motherfucking piece of shit cocksucker. Mark my fucking words. I'm coming for you. For now?
Go. It's the money, stupid fuck.
I love it.
Go. By eBay.
Hell!
Hateful slurs. Lame brain pieces of dumb fucking shit. Hateful slurs.
Why am I talking? I love it. Hey, Mr. Brunel, you there? I am present.
I understand. He's claiming that he's got $5,000 a month in expenses and only $5,000 a month in income, and net's about $35.
It's Kevin's fault.
Here's the thing. I became infamous on the internet in 2016 for accidentally beating off on camera. Now, luckily, nothing was shown. There was absolutely nothing exposed to the internet. It was just me doing my O-face. I went viral for it. I just want the bust. Oh, man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. Oh my God, look how big he is. Oh my God. Wow. That thing is a monster. I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the wow. Give me the monster. I just want the
vibrant and robust.
Wow. I just want the bust. I just want the give me the monster. I just want the wow, it's big.
Where did the load go?
I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the bust. I just want the bust. Oh!
Just a chill style stream on a Saturday night. It's the guy with the horse for a wife. In the real time world, no one tips him at all. His fans must be lazy. Jerking off with the camera on the whole time. Watch some boys just pass you by. The Hogan is rare, but there's always a chance if the deadheads tip tonight. It can cut you like a knife if the gout begins to strike. Where am I playing? You still haven't told me. He's a baggiac, that's for sure. He'll order food and dash it to his door. Baggiac, that's for sure. And he used to work for Helicopter.
Gout. Interestingly enough, a study followed 48,000 men for an average of 10 years and discovered that within 2 years of a gout diagnosis, the risk of erectile dysfunction was 77% higher. Gout.
Got that gout cloud going.
Gout.
Got that gout cloud going.
Gout.
Inflammations on my feet. Oh yeah, it's hurting me.
Gout.
Got that gout cloud going.
Gout.
Got that gout cloud going.
Gout.
Inflammations on my feet. Oh yeah, it's hurting me.
Gout.
That's what it's about. Put some cherry juice right in my mouth. Eating all the red meat. Bitch, please look at my feet. That's what it's about. It's that
Gout.
Got that gout cloud going.
Gout.
Got that gout cloud going.
Gout.
Inflammations on my feet. Oh yeah, it's hurting me.
Gout.
Got that gout cloud going.
Gout.
Got that gout cloud going.
Gout.
gout. Inflammation's on my feet. Gout. Oh yeah, it's hurting me. Gout. Take that bitch out for the clout. If you know what that shit's about, shut your mouth. Yeah, that bitch is so fucking fat. I'm just stating facts. Might just hit it from the back. Yeah, kinda shit to make my hardware into Microsoft. Eating so much red meat, I don't wanna stop. Might need to pop a blue pill. If I don't hit that ass, I don't know who will. Gout. Got that gout cloud going. Gout. Got that gout cloud going. Gout. Inflammation's on my feet. Oh yeah, it's hurting me. Gout. Got that gout cloud going. Gout. Got that gout cloud going. Gout. Inflammation's on my feet. Gout. Oh yeah, it's hurting me.
Really, bro?
This is how we stream it.
This is how we stream it. This is how we stream it. This is how we stream it. This is how we stream it.
This is how we stream it. It's Friday night and he feels alright. The stream starts here on the west side. We see that he's 40 and he shows it up. Pay to his account, but YouTube's a good cut. He curls and swells and get faded. Scopely hit him up saying, Phil, yo, we made it. It feels so good in his hood tonight. Feeling the wind in his hair, all on the ride. All the pay pigs, forgot about his old lies. He gotta get his bag on before he go get paid. So let him tip up his cut and let loose from his gut. And let me hear the chat say he needs the funds and it's all because
this is how we stream it.
DSP does it like nobody does.
This is how we stream it.
To all his neighbors, hold the answers a favor.
This is how we stream it.
Let's flip the track, bring the old Phil back.
This is how we stream it.
This is how he streaming. No hands up in his hair, and he scratches from here to there. He doesn't care if you're a fan or a shithead hater. You see, YouTube's fed DSP ever since he was rolling in Doji, but now he's penny pinching. The dense ass want no money, $100 pulls, y'all. If you were from where he's from, then you would know that he only lose cause of online lag. He plays right under taquito. Whatever it is, the stream's underway. So let him tip up his collar, let loose from his gut, and let me hear the chat say he needs the funds and it's all because
this is how we stream it.
DSP does it like nobody does.
This is how we stream it.
To all his neighbors, hold the answers a favor.
This is how we stream it.
Let's flip the track, bring the old Phil back.
This is how we stream it.
He's kinda buzzed, still needs the funds.
This is how we stream it.
DSP does it like nobody does.
This is how we stream it.
The FGC can suck on his PP.
This is how we stream it.
Let's flip the track, bring the old Phil back.
This is how we stream it.
Check it out. Once upon a time at Evo, Philip placed fourth, inflated his ego. And even though it was a busted port, he's the best gamer in the country, he'd retort. There lived a dude, John Rambo was his name. He came up to Philip and made a claim. Come on, let's reboot Project 7. But Philip took the cash and dashed out to Ranting. Oh, he needs the funds and it's all because This is how we streaming. DSP does it like nobody does. This is how we streaming. To all his neighbors, hold the answers a favor. This is how we streaming. Let's flip the track, bring the old feel back. This is how we streaming. He's kinda buzzed, still needs the fun. This is how we streaming. DSP does it like nobody does. This is how we streaming. To all his neighbors, hold the answers a favor. This is how we streaming. I still think it's kinda whack, he never hit Panda from the back. This is how we streaming.
Now, I just have to say something for full disclosure. Number one, because I'm doing it in this format, it is 100% protected under fair use law.
I need your help to buy my meals from QVC. Okay. Tiffany Super Chat me need a hit of WE. I love it. I'll buy her Burger King instead of burnt turkey. But baby, most of all, I need my Kombat cheese. Buy me my cups. Need more plastic cups. I need mine, yes I need my paper plates. You won't ever tip nobody. Won't clean mine, no I will never clean my paper plates. You won't ever tip nobody. Paper plates, paper plates. It's none of your business. Paper plates, paper plates. I can use whatever plates I want. If you don't send me cash, I will cut off the stream. A little gambling is fun with Strokee. I love it. 6-star Marshmallow Man won't ever come for free. And maybe after that I'll need a new TV. The king of snot, I'm the gotcha god. Can't beat my, no you can't beat my gamer face. Oh, the camera's been on the whole time, huh? Can't beat my, no you can't beat my gamer face.
Oh my god, he's freaking salt.
Yikes. And I am controlling all of you. And what I do, I wiggle like this. And what happens is your wallet opens up and all of your money flies out of your wallet through the sky. And then once a day I open my window with a big bag, a big sack like Santa's loot sack, and it just fills with money just flying in there. Yikes. Money kinesis. I have money kinesis.
He got that.
Money kinesis.
He got that.
Hypnosis.
He got that.
Money kinesis. Controlling all of you. Money kinesis.
He got that pig gnosis. You know who the pig roach is. Notorious PEG. He got them bills lined up every single week. You know all these Hogans ain't for free. So swing by and hit me. Please drop a tip if you like the post nasal drip. If you drop a like, I'ma snort right in the mic. 14 years for these Hogans. 14 years so I can be broke boy Joe Rogan.
Hypnosis. Money kinesis. I have money kinesis.
He got that.
Money kinesis.
He got that.
Hypnosis.
He got that.
Money kinesis. Controlling all of you. Money kinesis.
He got that pig gnosis. You know who the pig roach is. Notorious PEG. He got them bills lined up every single week. You know all these Hogans ain't for free. So swing by and tip me.
Money kinesis. I have money kinesis.
He got that.
Money kinesis.
He got that.
Hypnosis.
He got that.
Money kinesis.
He got that.
Controlling all of you. Money kinesis.
He got that.
Hypnosis. Oh, here we go. Oh, it smells so good. I love this gin. I tell you, we have a lot to discuss with a ridiculous amount of gaming news that happened during my day off, getting caught up with my Phil's Day Off segment, talking about all kinds of fun new stuff, new additions to the stream. It's an absolutely great day on the Level 1 podcast in just a sec.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It is Thursday, the 18th of May, 2023. We are starting up a fresh, brand new streaming week here on DSP Gaming. What a crazy amount of fun stuff we got in store this week, including a crazy fun Street Fighter Marathon this coming Sunday. Tons of coverage of all the new releases that I've been playing, now being able to kind of focus and dedicate myself to them, and putting aside Elden Ring for a bit so that we can actually make good progress. Possibility of maybe even wrapping up a playthrough and having more time to play stuff at night. Crazy good, man. Good stuff. I'm so excited for this week. I hope that you guys and gals are too. And in traditional form, there is so much to talk about this morning in regards to news. This always happens every single week. I have a day off. And it doesn't matter when my day off is, because my days off during the week have changed over the years. Sometimes it's a Tuesday, sometimes a Wednesday, sometimes a Thursday. And it seems like no matter what day of the week it is, boom, news, news, and more news. We have huge game announcements and updates. We've got updates to follow-up stories like laws and things that were at the Supreme Court. Crazy stuff, man. Google going nuts and freaking out the internet. So we will discuss all this in detail. But of course, today's my day back. And coming back from break, that means that I did some stuff yesterday on my day off. And so we will talk about that. And you'll get caught up on everything going on in me. And then we're going to jump back into Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which has now picked up. We're no longer on that first planet. We're exploring. Last stream, we explored 2 different planets. We're still on one of the bases, the Shattered Moon, and just got a brand new lightsaber style. We'll be continuing on with that, all in glorious 15 frames per second, because the game still runs like crap on the Xbox. But I guess we're just going to tough through it. Man, like seriously, I got so much positive stuff to talk about. I do. And you know what? The cool thing all about that is that I had a nice day off yesterday. I isolated myself from the internet. I paid attention to absolutely nothing, pretty much. I just spent a day with my wife, and we had a lot to do yesterday. And I had a nice, relaxing day. And I got all these news stories together, and I come on the stream, and of course, people immediately start referencing, oh, drama this, drama that. And I'm like, I know nothing about this drama, which is great. I unplugged myself from bullshit for several days, and I was not aware of any of this stuff. And I come back and I see people talking about drama in the chat. I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm not involved in this crap, you know? I really am happy that now we're going to have a nice week. I have tons of stuff to do. I'm going to be super busy here on the streams with all of you. Don't have to worry about any of that outside nonsense. Okay, this is excellent. And so, I hope that you guys are ready for some fun. I mean, where do you even begin, right? Where do you begin? Well, just to give you a little teaser, on this very podcast, I will reveal something new. All right, something new for the streams that we will have, but I'm going to save that until after we get through the serious business. All right, so I believe what we should do is we should sit down and talk about my day off first, a little bit about the updates of that, so that you guys know exactly what's going on in regards to moving forward this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to partake in a little segment that I like to call, you like to call, and we all like to call Phil's Day Off. And it doesn't even work fully anymore. Oh, but it plays that. Anyway, so, yesterday was my day off, and we have been in the midst of a big heat wave this week here in Washington State. My air conditioners had to be pumping all week long, because we've had essentially 80 to almost 90 degree weather, Fahrenheit that is, which is incredibly unseasonably warm. We've actually hit multiple heat records here in the state. And the good news is it is finally tapering off. Like starting today, it's going to start to dip a little bit, and then over the weekend, it's going to cool back down to what would be regarded more normal temperatures for this time of year. But seriously, absolutely ridiculous stuff with heat. And having our day off yesterday together, where we had to run around and do a million things. We had a ton of shopping to do. We had appointments. We had a million things we had to do together. And I say we, it's me and my wife, Kat. It was just crazy. And it was hot as shit. So we're out there sweating it up all day, running around, doing all these things. Yeah, it certainly would have been better if it was a little cooler and actually like spring weather, but it wasn't. What are you going to do? Among the things that we had to do, one of the things that we had to do was get ingredients. Because this coming Sunday is the DSP Fight and Feast event, which I don't know if you guys are aware. I mean, if you're not aware, I don't know what on earth you've been doing, because I've been talking about this for a while now. But DSP's Fight and Feast is a Street Fighter-related marathon I'm doing this Sunday, May 21st. It is going to have gameplay. It is going to have tier maker rankings. It is going to have a fantasy battle royale, and it's going to have food. And the food component is kind of interesting because my wife is going to be making several recipes out of the Street Fighter cookbook, which I received as a gift from the Dutch brothers several months ago. And so my wife picked 3 recipes, and we sat down on Tuesday night, and we looked at them together. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I actually didn't think she would have picked those things. I'm being honest. Like, I thought maybe she would have picked some different stuff, but she ended up picking stuff that's, like, not in the comfort zone. Let's put it that way, all right? So we're like, all right, 3 recipes out of the cookbook that I'll be trying during the course of the day, but we need to get some of these ingredients, and we're looking at it. And without spoiling, because obviously if I tell you what the stuff is, it's going to spoil it, which I don't want to do. But some of these ingredients are not common. These are not things that you could just go to, like, the local supermarket in the United States and grab. These are things that we're going to have to go to specialty stores and other places. So we planned out our day, all right, so that we were going to hit up special places to get ingredients for the Street Fighter related recipes for Sunday. And so we also had things to do like pet store and stuff like that. And my wife was looking for something in particular. We had to go to a couple stores to find. So we had a lot of stuff we were doing. Basically it was I'd say about halfway through the day, but we were really hungry. We were very, very hungry because we had eaten breakfast super early, knowing that we had a very busy day. So we ended up eating dinner, like, really early. I think we ate dinner at, like, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, which I know is early for most people. For us, our normal dinner time is around 4:30, 5 o'clock. That's when we usually eat dinner. So we were hungry. We went and we got some food. It was some tropical food. There's, since it was so hot, we're in the mood for, like a place where you could get, like, tropical-style food. So my wife had this, plantains. You ever had plantains? Plantains are really good if you get them at a restaurant. I've had plantains that are, like, really bland, but if you get them at a restaurant and they end up being, like, caramelized, dude, plantains are amazing. And I ended up getting a jerk chicken dish. I love jerk chicken. The flavoring is really, really good. I just hate that the chicken keeps acting so rude to me. All right, that was really bad. Anyway, so we had dinner early, okay? So now we're, like, stuffed from dinner, but we're like, shoot, we still got to go get all these ingredients for the dishes on Sunday. So we got to start looking around. And we go to this first place, this first market, and we go in, and here's the deal. When you go into a market, that's not a usual kind of place you would shop. Number one, you don't even know where anything is, and number two, they do things a lot differently. They sort things, and, you're going through the aisles, like, we would think this would be in this aisle, but it's not here. Where could it be? Oh, by their logic, they put things in completely different order or whatever. So we're going through all this market trying to find all these ingredients. I swear to God, we were in here for like half an hour, and we had a list of maybe like 13 ingredients. We had like 4. That's all we could find. I'm like, but this should have definitely been a place we could get this. Where is all this shit? So we're kind of feeling defeated at this point, kind of deflated. We found some stuff, but definitely not even close to all of it. And we're like, all right, well, what are we going to do? All right, well, there's another market we can go to across town. Oh, okay. We drive all the way across town, go to a different market, all right? This market has more, and we end up getting, I'd say at this point, probably like 8 of the ingredients. Okay? But we still don't have like 4. They just don't have like 4 of them. And one of them is like, again, I wish I could tell you specifics. If I do, it's going to ruin the recipe surprise for Sunday, so I don't want to tell you yet. I'll tell you more when I try these recipes on Sunday. But basically, we're like, this one ingredient, they absolutely positively should have, and none of these stores have it. None. Okay? So finally, we kind of gave up. We're like, this sucks because the whole point was to go out and get the ingredients, and now we didn't get like a third of them. So we decided what we're going to have to do is come home, and this is what we did. We came home, we go online, and now we're basically looking for any place online that would sell these remaining ingredients that we couldn't get in stores, but that will ship them fast. So now you're making concessions. Well, it's not really that, but it's kind of like that. Can we get that instead? What about this? Well, this one will come right away. And it was actually funny because, all right, I'm just going to tell you this. One thing, this is kind of a spoiler, but not really, okay? One of the things we're going to do is a drink. Out of the 3. Okay? No, it's not 3 drinks we're doing. One of the items we're going to do is a drink. So, we actually wanted to do something special and get like a glass or a cup for it to put it in. because I don't really have anything good in the house that would be like visually good for it, right? So my wife goes online to find something, and she keeps finding things perfect, but they only come in like packs of 24 or packs of 12. She's like, we don't need 12 or 24 cups. Where would we even put these? And I was like, yeah, and the thing is, they're cheap. It's like, oh, a pack of 24 cups, like $10, $15. It's like, we don't need 24 cups. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with all of that? So, we had a time yesterday trying to get all the ingredients together for the Fightin' Feast. The good news is, as of the end of yesterday, we either have everything or everything's on order, all right? And it should be all coming in time for Sunday. So that's good. However, I'm going to just be honest here. I got a big question mark in my head about these recipes because these are things that my wife has never made before. They are absolutely outside of the realm of a comfort zone of stuff that she's done. And I'm curious how they're going to come out. I mean, at least we're doing 3. So you figure if at least one of them comes out good, it's kind of a success. And let's be honest, if 1 or 2 of the recipes ends up not being so good, it might be funny for the show. But I'm a little nervous. It's like, you know, we spent all that time. We even had to order shit online. And I hope that they end up being good for everybody, right? So it was interesting, all right? But I also question, you know, again, you have to understand something. This is a Street Fighter cookbook. This is not, oh, a professional chef that's world renowned that knows what they're doing. This is some freaking, you know, cookbook author just made a bunch of recipes and slapped Street Fighter names on them. As you're going to see, it's hilarious. Some of these recipes are like, oh, here it is, and here's who it relates to, and you're looking at like, what? Why? There's one, I'm not kidding you, one of the recipes, you ready for this? Bacon sandwich. A bacon sandwich is one of the recipes. You know, like make bacon, toast bread, put lettuce and tomato on it. That's a recipe, according to this cookbook. So, you look at shit like that, and you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know about this cookbook. I don't know if this is going to be something that people are going to be interested in or not. But we're trying. You know, some of the things we've done is very different than stuff that stuff I've never eaten before. All right? So, we'll find out. We'll see this coming Sunday. So, it was a very busy day yesterday. We spent most of the day out and about. Oh, by the way, some of the other things we did, like Costco. We had to go to Costco for, like, our bi-monthly run. We do it every other month. And we had to stock up on everything in the house. So, we're going, you know, we had tons of paper products and shit that we were stocking up on. So, one thing we did get, a little different. Usually when we go to Costco, we get some kind of baked good that we have for breakfasts. Sometimes we get muffins. Sometimes we get their pastries. Usually it's, you know, we try to get something interesting. And they had something new this time. They had a big loaf. And the loaf is blueberry lemon loaf. All right? So Kat looks at it. She's like, it's something we never done before. That looks good. You just cut into slices. We'll have a slice each morning for breakfast. Why not do that? Okay, let's try it. So we bought the loaf. We brought it home. This morning we went to eat it. I cut it up into slices. All right? I'm going to eat it. And we start eating it, and we're like, there's something interesting about this loaf. And my wife's like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. She goes, it's exactly the same as their muffins. Yeah. It's completely 100%. It's the same batter as their muffins. It's no different. It's exactly the same. And we're like, so basically the muffins or the loaf, it's the same product. The difference is this has a topping of like lemon and some glaze on it. And it has some blueberries in it, but it's kind of the same as eating a blueberry muffin with some glaze on top. And we're like, oh man, we're kind of disappointed. We were hoping it was going to be something different or special. And we're sitting there and eating it, and we're like, wow, it's just not that good. You know, we were expecting something different or interesting, and this is just more of the same, essentially. So it was all right. Let's put it that way. But my wife's like, nah. We also bought some bagels at the grocery store, so she's probably gonna have some bagels for the rest of the week. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll have some of this. I guess I'll be eating some of this loaf for the week. Kind of disappointing. See, if you buy the muffins, you could get 2 6-packs of muffins at Costco for like $10. This loaf itself was like $10, but it's definitely not the equivalent of 12 muffins. And if you get 12 muffins, you get 2 flavors. So now you got variety. While now it's just the one loaf. So it's like, it's disappointing. What are you gonna do? Sometimes you take a chance on something, right? And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. The loaf did not work out. It is not. Do not risk it all on a loaf. Let's just put it that way. Never risk it all on a loaf, because then you might be disappointed. That's my advice for you for today. Stop saying loaf. People are advising me to stop saying the word loaf. They're apparently finding it incredibly disturbing when I say loaf for some reason. I don't know why. You would think that loaf is a disturbing word. What's wrong with loaf? Loaves are good. You have a loaf of bread. You can have a cat that's shaped like a loaf, right? You could loaf around and be lazy. There's a lot of things you can do with the word loaf. I don't know what the problem is. People are very upset with me. My pronunciation is wrong. I'm not supposed to say loaf. Oh, I'm sorry. Loaf. It was a loaf. A blueberry lemon loaf. My apologies. I pronounced it incorrectly. Okay. Anyway. Oh, people are saying you can also drop a loaf, and that would mean poop. Well, obviously I was not mentioning scat, right? This is not a scatological story. I was talking about a baked good from Costco. I don't know how you would associate the two. That's pretty disgusting, actually. Maybe some of you have dirty minds. Just saying. Anyway, let's continue. So, my day off consisted of running around all day in heat, shopping a lot of things we needed around the house, stocking up, and getting all these different ingredients for the Fight and Feast event on Sunday. Now, while all this was happening, okay, last night, a fan of mine contacts me and says, Phil, I've been following your streams recently, and I saw that you had mentioned something interesting that you may want for your streams. And just so you know, I think it's a good idea, and I would like to offer this to you. Really? Like, yes, I would actually like to offer you something that would improve your streams. Would it be all right if I got it for you? All right? And I said, I guess. I don't see why not. And by the way, this is a fan, you know, they've ordered something for me before. So they kind of, you know, I know that they're trustworthy. It's not like some asshole who says, I'm going to send you something. I open it up and there's like a loaf inside. You know what I mean? Like the bad loaf. They're not going to mail me loaf. They're going to mail me something good. So I said, all right, sure, why not? So I agree. And they say, okay, well, I'm glad because I ordered it for you and it's coming tomorrow. And I was like, really? Like, yeah, ordered it off Amazon. And, you know, Amazon shipping in my area is super quick because I live in Seattle, well, the outskirts of Seattle. And Seattle is the hub for Amazon. This is actually the part of the country where everything starts. So you order something off Amazon in this area, you can get it sometimes same day, usually by the next day. All right? So I'm like, wow, well, this is kind of cool. I hope you didn't send me a loaf. He said, no, I didn't send you a loaf. I sent you this thing that I thought would be very helpful for the streams. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce something to the stream, something new. All right? It arrived yesterday, and I'm excited to introduce it. All right? This is someone else's idea. I'm not going to lie. Someone else came up with this idea. It was not mine. All right? But I feel like I can debut it now. And it would be something interesting and fun for the streams. All right? We'll definitely add something. And, I wonder what it could be. Ah! Oh, my God! Holy shit! That's a lot! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a bubble gun. That was pretty awesome, and that was like half a second of holding it down. The bubble gun is amazing, all right? It is absolutely amazing. However, there's a catch to it. This thing uses a lot of bubble juice. That's the bubble juice it came with, and it uses a lot of bubble juice. So, for as expensive as it was. Now, this is a double shot glass, meaning if I fill this to the top, it's 2 shots in one. So I'm going to go halfway. Taking the shot of gin. I'm not cheaping out and lying to you guys. That's why I'm giving you the transparent. This is a double shot glass. So. Okay, ready? Whale tail, cheers!
No matter how hard I try, I can't stay away from total wine, but I need that dude. Them bank leaks are true.
Fucking idiot.
And I'll babble with no meaning. I'll pass out while I'm streaming. Cause after all is said and done, I'm gonna be the one that's stronger. Please give me more alcohol.
Gin is great.
supposed to do? Just drink a bunch of cherry juice. Well, I can't do that.
Pure 100% tart cherry juice.
Gout's not that bad.
Gout?
I take shots while they all watch. I drink water like it's mouthwash. Cause after all the tipping is through, I'm gonna buy a bottle or two. Oh, please give me more alcohol.
Gin is great.
I can feel
on DSP Gaming. When we have a new edition, we just don't do it normal. You know, there's a lot of people, they would say, wow, that's great. It's a new edition. It's very exciting to streams. This is cool. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, here on DSP Gaming, that's just not one step. One step isn't too far. We got to go the whole Monty in. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the dual-wield bubble guns. Yes, it's not firing. Oh, here we go. The dual-wield bubble guns. That's what I'm talking about here on DSP Gaming, baby. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, my God. Wow. Oh, my. I'm soaked. Dude, there's bubbles everywhere. It went absolutely everywhere on my setup. That's right. I'm a Kimbo bubble, baby. Yeah. Woo. All right. I dare you to say I'm still on level 1 now. But anyway, I have to now get a tissue and clean because, like, the bubbles went everywhere. Like, they're seriously all over my desk here. Which is what I was... Honestly, that's what I was afraid of. It was the bubble guns like this. Is that the bubbles are going to go everywhere, explode, and make a big bubbly, soapy mess. And indeed they have. Alright? Anyway, put those back into the holster. Let me get tissue here to clean up. You know what I mean? Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, they landed all over the laptop. Yuck. So, I think what I could do, if I have backup bubble juice from the old bubbles, see? So these are done. Who wants these? This is like blasé boring now. No one cares about this anymore. But I think I can use this. When I run out of bubble juice, I can use this to reload the bubble juice, and I have like 3 or 4 more of those. So I should be fine for a bit, and then I'm going to have to buy more bubble juice, but it's pretty crazy. So, bubble guns in effect. I will say we will use bubble guns when we hit 100 likes on a stream. Perhaps we'll use the bubble guns if and when we hit a members goal. But also, for other special things and events, right? We'll see what happens, all right? So there you go. Okay. Bubble gun crazy shit. Do the dual barrel bubbles when you hit $200 in tips. There you go. It's amazing. Why didn't I think about this a year ago? Because honestly, I don't think about this kind of stuff. Like, I never thought you guys would ever want me to do bubbles on a stream. And then I just so happened to have them in here because I was playing with Jasper one day. And I blew the bubbles and Jasper didn't like them. But this was the time several years ago when Fall Guys was becoming huge on the internet. And I was playing it, and I won a game. People were like, hey, blow bubbles because you won a game. It's a celebration. All right, fine. So I blow the bubbles. The next thing you know, you guys are like, can you do bubbles for rewards on streams and stuff? And I'm like, I don't see why not. I don't see the big deal. Like, I don't care. But if you guys are getting something out of it, whatever. And now people seem to like it. They seem to think it's funny. Is Jasper terrified of the bubble gum? Asked Barrel Shroud. I shot the bubbles yesterday downstairs, and he was just like, whoa, like looking all around. I don't think he's scared of it. At the same time, he's like, what the hell is that? You know? Anyway. There you go. So, shout out to the person who donated the Akimbo bubble guns. I appreciate that. And we'll be using bubble guns now on the stream, as silly as that sounds. Like I said, I think you guys will want me to stay widescreen now to do it, because you'll see me shooting them all over. As opposed to if I go full screen, I'm too zoomed in, you won't be able to see it, right? So there you go. Bubbles Akimbo. Excuse me. Okay. Good, clean fun. Anyway. Alright, so. You're never too old to enjoy some bubble blasting. Let's put it that way. So that's yesterday's stuff, alright? Now what I'd like to do, ladies and gentlemen, is go into my news segment. Now before I start my news segment today, because we have a lot of news stories to talk about, tons of stuff has happened on my day off and this morning. I realized something. I came to a realization this morning, alright? When I moved out here to Washington 9 years ago, one of the things that I had intended at the time was that I wanted to dramatically improve the kind of content I was doing on the internet. In 2014, when I moved out here, all I was doing was gameplay. Like, that's it. I mean, yeah, I was doing some game unboxings and channel updates, but that was really it. I wanted to basically branch out from just being a gameplay guy, and I wanted to do some other things. I had ideas for shows, and I thought, oh, if I have like a dedicated office and space and better setup, I could actually do some different stuff. And one of the ideas that I had was a daily news show, where essentially I'm kind of sitting at a news desk and I'm reading news stories to you guys, almost like a news anchor, and we're going to talk about, it was going to be a gaming news show where every day we cover basically gaming news. And it was an idea that I had back then, and I told you that I was going to maybe get a virtual desk and a green screen. In fact, that's why I got that green screen set up in 2015. That now you see that green screen setup used in all kinds of content. You know, those green screen shots are all from 2015. They're 8 years old. That's what I did all that for, right? But what's interesting is it just never came to fruition. At that time in my life, things were very different. I didn't really have time to sit down and focus on new stuff. I was very stressed out. I mean, a lot of messed up stuff was happening to me at that point in my life, too. And all those plans that I had kind of just went on hold. Instead, I tried an edited content channel, KO Gaming, and then over the years, I became a full-time streamer and all of that. And then, of course, as you know, in the last year and a half, 2 years, I became a podcaster now. Now I do a daily show called the Level 1 Podcast. I think you know about it, perhaps. Maybe you've heard of it. And I came to a realization this morning, right? I'm about to do the show, and I said, wait a minute. I said, you know, inadvertently, I'm doing that now. I'm actually doing the stuff that I had intended to do when I originally said that I wanted to move out here in 2014. My whole point was back then I lived in this condo in Connecticut that was small. There was nowhere to really film and make anything look or sound good. It wasn't like I had a space to have a setup like a studio. It was just like my living room. And it was cavernous and echoey. There was no opportunity to really soundproof it the way that it was set up. The lighting was terrible. Like, there was no way I was going to set it up and make it look good, which is one of the reasons I wanted to move. But look how long it took. I lived here from 2014 until arguably late last year, 2022. So 8 years it took me to finally get my ass in gear and get enough stuff updated and upgraded and looking good. And I realize now I actually do the show now. It's just called the Level 1 Podcast, right? I mean, yes, I have a daily news show. Some days we don't talk news because there is no news. But I actually do the show. And I was like, oh. Cool. Right? I actually felt a little bit of accomplishment this morning. Saying, wow, there was a goal I really wanted to do 8 years ago. I set out to do it. I didn't do it right away because all this personal shit going on in my life. And then over the years, I evolved, I changed. And now I actually do the show every day. I feel good about myself for a bit. That rarely happens. I was like, wow. I put out an entertainment and informative show every day. Northwest Texas, the show just kind of happened on its own. Like John Lennon once said, life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. That's actually a really great quote. Because it wasn't like when I set up this podcast, this was my intention. Actually, it wasn't at all. It was, remember, I liked talking with you guys every morning before we started gameplay. And people started to complain, oh, your pre-stream's too long. And I said, well, screw it. It ain't going to be a pre-stream anymore. It's going to be a podcast. Because that way we can actually have a dedicated show that people who want to see this kind of content can watch it and enjoy it. And it can be separated from my gameplay. You want to see gameplay? Come on later. Come on 12:45 p.m. Pacific time, because that's traditionally when I start with games. But for those of you who like chilling, talking topics, news, come to the podcast before, right? Let me tell you something. It's worked. You guys like the show. Every day there's viewership. There's people who support this show. I really appreciate that. Right now we have over 500 viewers. I don't know why, but we're getting more viewers every day on this show. It's appreciated. Thank you for chilling with me on the Level 1 Podcast. Seriously, it's fun. So, it's good stuff. All right, anyway. So, that realization hit me this morning as I was preparing news stories. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this insane amount of news? I don't know if you are. I should probably go in order here of how these things unfolded. So, the first news, Ubisoft announced their games lineup for the next year, essentially. All right? From April 2023 to March 2024. And here's what Ubisoft's game lineup is apparently going to be. You ready for this? Assassin's Creed Mirage, which we knew was coming out. This is the new Assassin's Creed game that's supposed to be more like a traditional Assassin's Creed, not like the open world ones of the last 3 iterations. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Yes, this is exactly what it sounds like, an Avatar video game. Which would make sense because, you know, Avatar was supremely popular over a decade ago, and they just came out with another one that also was pretty popular. Now no one talks about it anymore. It's hilarious how, oh, it's so popular, and no one even pretends like the movie never existed. But now a game's coming out. It's like a little late. It would have been nice if this game came out either when the first or second movie was out. But apparently they're still making this Avatar game. Rainbow Six Mobile. I'm sure we're all excited for that one coming out. The Division Resurgence, which I guess is supposed to be either an update or a new version of the Division. The Division apparently is still doing really good. From what I understand, it's one of the more popular, like, co-op shooter social aspect games out there. Good for them. You know, I played it. I thought it was all right. I thought it was Division 2 I played. I thought it was all right. I thought to play that with friends, it would actually be pretty solid. Skull and Bones. Yes, if you can believe it, they're still making Skull and Bones. It was supposed to release last year, got delayed multiple times. Yeah, it's still being made. The Crew Motorfest. I had no idea they were making a new Crew game. The Crew kind of, you know, hasn't been talked about in many, many years. But yeah, apparently they're making a new one. And there's a new game called X Defiant. I don't even know what the hell that is. But apparently this is the other game. And then another large game. And no one knows what that is. And so people are trying to guess and speculate what the game could be. You know, keep in mind all the IPs under the Ubisoft umbrella. So people are speculating the other Assassin's Creed game. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to come out with 2 Assassin's Creed games in a year. That would make sense. So, but anyway, that is their lineup for the next year. Okay? How does that sound? Well, obviously I'm going to play the new Assassin's Creed. If it plays like classics, that sounds good to me because those are the ones I liked more. Literally outside of that, I don't think there's another game on there I'm interested in. You know? Maybe the Avatar game if it ends up being good, but there's no way to tell. Plus, I don't really care about Avatar. I thought the first movie was average. I didn't even bother seeing the latest one. So, anyway, that's their schedule. So if you're wondering, that doesn't sound like it's too much of an exciting story. I was doing these in order from stuff happening on my day off. So let's continue. Our next news story. Sony has announced a 1-hour press conference next week on May 24th. So that would be 6 days from today. Wait. When's the 24th? The 24th would be 19, 20, 21st, Wednesday. On my day off. Oh, I guess I'm not covering it then. So on Wednesday, May 24th. All right. Sony is doing a 1-hour showcase featuring games on PS5 and PSVR 2. I guess they didn't get the memo that PSVR 2 didn't sell very well. Because it didn't. Sales numbers are pretty bad from what they were expecting. It hasn't even really sold on pace to PSVR 1. Not even close, actually. I think it's one of these situations, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, well, you know, shame on me. I don't think people wanted to drop a dramatic amount of money on a VR system again that you play 2 games on and then it sits there collecting dust for 5 years. So, kind of interesting that they're announcing new PSVR 2 games. I feel like this is because they were already in development. And at this point, you already made the game. You got to release it. But it seems like VR is going to be another failed outing here for Sony. But anyway, I'm interested to see what new games they'll be announcing for PS5. That's what I'm interested in. But that's on my day off next week. So obviously, I won't be covering it live. But hopefully, I'll get caught up on it on my day off. Be able to come back and tell you guys all about it on Thursday's Level 1 podcast. Sound good? All right. Continuing on. This was really interesting, okay? So, Google made an announcement that started completely freaking people out. Here's the announcement. Google has announced they will start deleting inactive accounts after 2 years of inactivity. Now, wait a minute. First of all, what does that mean? This means everything. This means every product under Google, including email addresses, including, yes, YouTube accounts. Okay? So people are like, wait a minute. Let's say, for example, there's a legacy YouTube account, right? Someone who used to be an affluent, that's not the word, prodigious. Someone who used to upload a ton, right? Very productive YouTuber. And maybe their videos are well known on the internet. But they decided they wanted to move on from being a YouTuber and they no longer use the account, but all of their content is archived, correct? Well, what's going to happen to that YouTube channel? It's fair enough. I mean, YouTube is a lot of ways a historical aspect of the internet and internet culture, right? There's YouTubers from 10, 15 years ago that at the time were incredibly prominent. And it's cool that their channels are still there, even though they don't use them anymore. It's really cool to see that those channels are there as a testament to how people used to be, right? Wow, these jokes used to be funny. Wow, this kind of content used to resonate. I mean, hell, on my weekly react show, DSP versus the Internet, we've been watching old internet memes and culture every week. And some of the times I'm like, I can't believe this. People thought this was funny. And people would always say to me, well, it's a different time. You know, 10, 15 years ago, a lot of people had different ideas of what was funny or acceptable. And a lot of these people were trailblazers at the time on YouTube. So the question is, what's going to happen, right? Does this mean that YouTube channels could be erased, right? Well, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is this is absolutely true, that anything that's legacy content and is not logged into for about 2 years could be deleted by Google. However, someone went immediately to YouTube and started asking the big questions. Like, are you seriously going to start deleting old accounts and what's going on? To which YouTube's liaison team, yes, they actually have a bunch of liaison people, all right, started answering questions and said, we're going to confirm with you right now, all right, we have no plans to delete any YouTube accounts that actually have uploaded videos. What we're looking to do is to completely delete dead content. Someone who made a YouTube channel and never did anything with it, but maybe watched other people's content. Someone who had an email address, used it for 2 years, never used it ever again, and it's been sitting there for 10 years dormant. Basically what they want to do is clear up a lot of this stuff that's been sitting there, you know, eating up space. Now you might say, well, does it take significant space to have a dead account? Well, no, it doesn't. But when you have 40 billion dead accounts, then it could take up space, right? You know, and think about a hard drive. Every once in a while, you got to defrag it. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like this is like a Google defrag. We need to just take the things that are not being utilized and are wasted space, and we need to clear it up. So, from what they're saying, all right, hopefully nothing bad would happen to any archived content anywhere. And by the way, they also said, don't worry, this change will not happen till December. And in the meantime, between now and December, if we find something that's, you know, not used, we're going to contact you. And what you would do is, all you need to do is log in. And as long as you log in once every 2 years, the content will be preserved. Okay? So there you go. So in reality, no, this is not going to really affect much when it comes to my content or anyone who just still, you know, actively has access to content. Like, if you have a YouTube channel as a legacy channel, just log into it and then log back out. Boom, your channel is saved. You see? However, there is a silver lining here as well. Let's say YouTube doesn't even know what they're doing, because I hate to say this, a lot of the times YouTube fucks up. I don't know if you're aware of this. A lot of the times YouTube screws things up. They have good intentions, and then they just completely, they botch it all. They do what they call a boner. Yes, I know that sounds crude, but they actually used to call a boner, used to be a word that meant a mistake, a big gaffe, an accidental mix-up, something that you do by accident. Well, I wouldn't put it past YouTube to do a big boner later this year when they launch this program and start shutting down inactive accounts, that they just shut down accounts for no reason and then have to fix it later. I wouldn't be surprised. However, the silver lining here is that last year we went through my closet, remember? And we eventually found hard drives. And then we accessed said hard drives and found out I have all of my legacy videos, all of them. So if YouTube ever effed up and deleted, say, Dark Side Phil, my original archive channel, I would have the capability to re-upload all that content. And what I would end up doing is making a legacy channel that I would probably call Dark Side Classics or something like that, you know, DSP Classics, and upload all the classic content to that channel. All right? Why not? And the good thing is there's already been people that have asked questions such as, would you ever upload your classic Red Dead Redemption or Final Fantasy 13 playthroughs, because those have been lost to time. Those are on YouTube channels that got hacked and shut down. Would you re-upload them? Sure, but not here, because I feel like if I did them here, sadly, that would be a situation where, you know, we might have problems. But maybe if I uploaded them, say, to another channel, that could be now my archive channel, then that might work. You see? So, I'm already kind of considering that, like maybe taking a channel like KO Gaming or something and rebranding it as like a DSP Classics channel, and if they fucked up and deleted Dark Side Phil, because I wouldn't put it past them to do that because they're stupid, and you know, doing a nice big boner like they tend to do, then I guess we'd be alright anyway. I still have all those classic videos on hard drives and I could re-upload them at some point, you see? So, in some ways, you could say that Dark Side Phil is boner proof. Take that as you will. Anyway, so it remains to be seen what's going to happen. All right, we're not sure what's going to happen yet, but let's see as this story continues to unfold. If Google changes their story, if anything else changes, we'll find out. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. Keep your boners away from me. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is a good game. I'm enjoying it. I think we're 13 hours in, and we're actually just about to start the first major dungeon of the game. And in fact, I'm liking the game, and you guys are liking the game so much, we changed the schedule around to play more of it this week. Okay? Well, guess what? I'm not the only person, because, ladies and gentlemen, Tears of the Kingdom has sold over 10 million copies worldwide in its first 3 days, becoming the fastest-selling game in the history of the Legend of Zelda series. And I would attest this to many different factors. Factor number one, it's on the Switch, and Switch is one of the best-selling Nintendo consoles of all time. Everyone's been fiending and waiting for a new first-party game, and Zelda's one of the biggest franchises, so pretty much everyone bought Zelda. And number two, by the way, the game's good. So it's kind of a combination of factors. The game is good, and the console is well owned, I guess. It's out there. You got the market. So this is not surprising at all. It's good to see the game do well. I'm really enjoying the game so far. I'm looking forward to more of it tomorrow, incidentally, on my first stream. Congrats to Nintendo. Because let me tell you something. I would much rather play a good Nintendo game than buy a bunch of these. I feel much better playing good video games, enjoying them, and making productive content for my audience than playing with a little figurine to support the company. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm tired of buying Switch OLEDs. I have 17 of them now. I'm glad to be able to use them for something useful. Obviously, I'm joking. I'm not being serious here. But you get the point I'm making is, I really like the first-party Nintendo titles. I sadly wish there were more of them. Where is the next Mario game? How about a Donkey Kong game? Donkey Kong Country or something? Hey, how about a new Mario Kart? Oh, sorry, we're still reselling Mario Kart 8 for like a decade, right? I think actually there's a Pikmin game coming out this year, right? Later this year, Pikmin. I'd be excited for that. But anyway, pretty good stuff. I'm excited to play more Zelda tomorrow. Congrats to Nintendo on that. Let's move on to the next story. Grand Theft Auto 6 is being hinted for a release next year or not. Let me explain what I mean. Take-Two Interactive released their sales projections for their fiscal year, April 2024 to March 2025. And in these fiscal projections, they said they are going to be launching several groundbreaking titles to achieve over $8 billion in net bookings and over $1 billion in adjusted unrestricted operating cash flow. Now, here's the thing. We know that Grand Theft Auto 5 has made them over $1 billion. It's actually been well documented that GTA 5 made them over $1 billion. Yes, it's crazy to think that it made that much money, but it did. The GTA Online alone is probably like 80% of that. But then the fact that they sold Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS3 and Xbox 360, and then they sold it on PS4 and Xbox One, and then they sold it on PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. Is it on PC yet? That I don't know. But they've resold this game 3 times, and people kept rebuying it to keep playing the more modern version of it. So not only did you buy the game 3 times, but also most people have probably sunk some money into GTA Online. I can't imagine why, because I played it and didn't really find much about it interesting. But then again, I don't really use video games as a social outing with my friends. If you did, perhaps that's your social hub and you really enjoy it, and more power to you. I've heard it's quite a good game for that. But for me, never really fit into my content, and that's why I never really did much with it. But anyway, I definitely feel like if they're predicting billions of dollars in revenue, obviously it ain't coming from the sky and it ain't coming from their existing releases. They've got something huge planned. And what else would it be besides Grand Theft Auto 6, right? Now, you might also say, well, is it just that? Well, maybe not. Maybe they're going to hit it on both. Maybe you're going to have GTA 6 and a surprise release. Like a new Red Dead Redemption. Or maybe another Bully. Who knows? But $8 billion seems like a lot for only one game. So maybe they do have a lot more in store. Who knows, right? But this is exciting. The only bummer about all of this is that sadly, it's next year. So we have to wait a whole year for them to even be in that fiscal year. And then we don't know exactly what's going to happen there, you know. I guess we'll see. But anyway, this is obviously good news if we at least know that they're working on this and that it should be released maybe within a year's time. Or 2 years' time. Who knows? I'm just excited that they're going to nickel and dime us again, man. I can't wait to try to play whatever the online component will be on launch day and laugh as everyone's sitting in servers again. Can't get on. All right. And now, ladies and gents, it is time for the really big news story of the day. I know I've covered a lot, but this is the biggest one for sure. It has been officially announced. You ready for this? Officially announced. Mortal Kombat 1, yes, I said it, 1, is coming out later this year on September 19th. It is officially the continuation of the plotline from Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11. It is a second reboot of the franchise, and it will feature the original cast of characters from the classic Mortal Kombats again, only with a reimagined plot, because Liu Kang is now a god. And ladies and gentlemen, the only thing I can say is this calls for a celebratory Guns Akimbo bubble blow. That's right. Yeah! So rip off those heads, shove those spines up your butthole. It's time for Mortal Kombat to come this September. And one of the things that they're actually touting is that it's going to have a very, very immersive, story-driven mode, which Mortal Kombat games have had since Mortal Kombat 9. If you remember, MK9 was the game that kind of made that prominent over a decade ago, right? Wasn't Mortal Kombat 9, I want to say 2010, 2011? So yeah, when Mortal Kombat 9 came out, story, the weird thing about this is, if you're not Kombat 9 already was a series reboot. What do you mean by that, Phil? Well, let me explain. Mortal Kombat started off in the 1990s along with Street Fighter, Tekken, and many other prominent fighting game franchises in arcades. But Mortal Kombat games stopped being released in arcades at Mortal Kombat 4. After that, they became exclusively home console games. What ended up happening was, they became more and more popular for home gamers, but they stopped being considered competitive games. Excuse me. Hold on one second. Much better. Anyway, so what ended up happening was Mortal Kombat became more and more prominent as being known as a party game. You play it with your friends, you rip out their buttholes, you know, you shove their nipples into their nostrils, whatever it is for the fatality. They got more and more ridiculous and over-the-top crazy. But the gameplay stopped being competitive. While other game franchises like Street Fighter and Tekken and others became the prominent competitive fighting games, Mortal Kombat became kind of a parallel franchise that was not technically played in tournaments that well. However, by the end of the 2000s, okay, the series had written itself into a hole with Mortal Kombat Armageddon. In Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Liu Kang had become a zombie. all the gods were evil, everyone was killing everyone. Zillion fucking characters in the game, and the game was incredibly unbalanced and a big mess. And so, with the release of Street Fighter 4 in 2000s, let's now start it fresh. So with Mortal Kombat 9, sadly his actions had kind of ruined everything because look, Armageddon, everything's destroyed now, right? So he finds this medallion, and he uses this medallion to travel back in time and try to change things for the better. And that's the plot of Mortal Kombat 9, is that he's back in the original tournament of Earth versus the Outworld, and he's trying to change up the plot to make it so that things are better for everyone, okay? And that's one of the more unique plots in Mortal Kombat, and that's when they started having really rebooting of characters like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, who sadly have been like stuck in these plot lines forever, and now they got rebooted, now they're human again. They're no longer, Scorpion's not a vengeful ghost at this point. Oh, that's nice, right? So yeah, pretty awesome. Personally, I loved playing Mortal Kombat 9 as a narrative-based game. It was actually a huge game for me, because when I covered it, most people were just trying to play it competitively, but I played through the whole story mode, and people absolutely loved my take on the story mode. Literally doing it again. A reboot, time travel plotline. Now Liu Kang is in control. What I can tell you is I saw the trailer